All right, all right, all right. Now I actually want to do this on actual Wakanda because that energy of Wakanda is just crazy high right now. Um, I mean, I truly feel that a lot of this stuff wouldn't take place if it wasn't for that Wakanda energy right now. How shall I say this? You got a lot of individuals who really want that to be the thing, the new thing. Um, and for some reason, I guess in the so-called conscious community, the black conscious community, everybody's totally against it. That's the thing to say. Oh well, if it was this and it's really not that deep, and y'all getting well, we have a few things that are our thing, like our this is our black thing or whatever. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and he said the last time he saw black people as a whole or as a collective this happy, Obama got inaugurated. And I thought about that time, and I agree with him. I agree with him a whole lot because that's true. Last time we agreed on something was when Obama. And the time after that, in between now and last thing we had was that Kaepernick when he took the knee or whatever, which really wasn't all that revolutionary, but it just pissed off a lot of white people. It really wasn't all that revolutionary, but it pissed off a lot of people. Especially teams, and a lot of the military guys took personal offense to it. But I don't know why. But that's them. So like now we have this Wakandan wave, so to speak, and if you really study it, it's something to be really understood from the standpoint of I don't know. I guess we got something to be happy about. you know. And this happens not so often, like I just named before, but also much of the information that we have and how okay, first off, black people these a lot of these people are Christians. They don't really have any black moments. They just go to work, go to school, go home, go to church on Sunday. About 90% of the people that live in America are Christians. They're not Muslims. They're old timey, Baptist people. They're not Catholics. Predominantly of the black community, people who are Christians, they're Baptists. Um, so these are people who don't really hear the words ancestors a lot. They don't really wear dashikis at all. They don't interact with racism face to face, on a daily basis. It's only just something that just if the about as racy as it gets when their boss or their coworker is a white person and they have a dialogue about young black youth getting gunned down by cops, and it just so happens to come up or whatever while they just exchanging talk, over lunch or something, and they both give their side on it, and that's about as black as they are. You know what I'm saying? And they live within that bubble and no problem with that. I'm not saying go out there and do anything radical. For what? With that being said, you got to truly understand this understanding that came with the Wakandan energy. Now you got certain people who this is their black thing. When I went to the movie theaters, people really got dressed up for this. You know, like I was just talking to one of my friends about it. That you got to really look at it from the standpoint that if a child is born, like and they're 10, right? This is so big to them. This is like the 9/11 for black people, if that makes any sense. This is how much impact that it has. You know what I'm saying? I know you're like, wow, that's a crazy comparison. I may have went too deep with that one, but you get it. And like, let's say they're 10 years old, so they never lived in a world that involved that. You know, um, you know, they don't live in the era where they watch Friday, because the movie Friday came out in 1996. You know what I'm saying? So their world, that's a 20, 30-year-old movie. You know what I'm saying? The same way as Poetic Justice and Menace to Society. Those are so-called black. This is the first time we ever had an action hero who was black with an all-black cast. You know what I'm saying? And he's in Africa. They call him this mysterious Wakanda or whatever, but it's in Africa. And then I'm pretty sure the conscious people, or the so-called black conscious community, ate it all up because it was a lot of thrones sitting, people sitting on thrones, and there was a lot of black people, and there was a lot of vibranium, which they're calling vibes or whatever. But it was a lot of that. And then the name of the movie was Black Panther. You know, I mean, you don't get no more black than that. you know, I like to tie the two together with Nipsey Hussle because Nipsey Nipsey dropped his album on the same day, and his energy, he rode that wave of that energy or whatever. I don't know. I like that young brother. I got my eye on him. But see, pictures like this never really would have happened if that movie never would have took place. She probably still would have took a picture with her son. It just wouldn't have been that powerful. And to that young man, you can't tell him that Wakanda doesn't exist. And that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? So like, when you really look at it, like the whole shaking your hand and doing the X thing, I mean, cats from BX been throwing that up for a while. DMX been throwing that up. Terror Squad, they throw that up. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't nothing new, but has them as a collective doing that. That's something. I saw one of those fraternity guys doing the little X thing one time. So you know what I'm saying? I can't beef on that or whatever. I mean, like I said, it's a real deep following this guy is developing, and you got to understand the actor that played here, Chadwick Boseman or whatever. He played in not Ray, Jackie Robinson. He's the same person that played in the Grandfather of Soul, James Brown. So he's on like a certain hiatus right now. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting raised to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting a lot of powerful energy back to back to back, and that's real deep. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I know the Masonic brothers definitely ate it up because when they buried him, then they buried him like when he had the Egyptian thing. Like the Egyptians died, they get the it's left over right, I think, and it's the crook and the flail, and they buried him, and then that's symbolic to the third degree, and then you get resurrected, whoop whoop, and then he got stabbed in the chest. I saw the parallels with that. And the first thing his father's dead. That's the story of Hiram. His father's dead. He's the son of a widow, and he gets buried within a shallow grave, only to be resurrected. He's on an ancestral plane. He was roughed up by this ruffian or whatever. But we it's all kind of parallels to line up with that. But it's kind of like that Christ-like energy to die to only be re-resurrected again. And they keep it real. He died twice. So to speak, got buried twice. And on the third he rose or whatever. But see, everybody's talking about, oh yeah, it's so black, it's so black. But see, the posters with stuff like this. You see, with posters like this, they're gonna get the feminist energy. They're gonna get those that feminist energy. That's all women. That's all woman power right there. But there was a lot of different posters out there too. I don't know. And then when they calling the white people colonizers or whatever, that really did it for a lot of low key racist white people, black people or whatever. That really did it. Oh, you colonizer or whatever. That really did it. That didn't really do too much, and that didn't really tickle me like that. But who am I? The technology aspect, the film was off the meter. I mean, it was one of those real good films. You have to really see it in 3D. If you don't see it in 3D, you're doing yourself a great injustice. I really liked it. Despite all of the multiple layers to it. Because when he said the joint about when he was in the underworld, when he went under, he said if y'all don't, he said son, you are lost. He said maybe it's the people that's over here that's lost. And I made the correlation, not saying that he meant it or whatever. I made the correlation to the fact that when you go to Africa now, Africans Americans are the people who preserve the African culture. Like I talk to a lot of my friends from Africa and Jamaica and stuff like that, and they tell me these people call the people that study the ways of old savages. They call the people who study voodoo, outside of like Western Africa where the Yoruba is popular, whatever. But people who study the voodoo or the ways of old or the ancient ancestors, they call them savages. The main people that live in the city or they speak French and they're either Christian or they're Muslim, and that's just the way it is. A lot of them don't even speak in their native tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like my friend Ben, he's from not Morocco, he's from Senegal, and when they're taught in Africa, they're taught that the English is the words of business. That's the word you trade in. French is the word of the colonizer. This is how he gave it to me. He said French is the word of the layman. Like the layman tongue is in French. The native tongue is something like that your parents teach you, but it's not something you use every day. So every day they go to school, they get taught that books are in English. You know what I'm saying? And they speak about the books and they dialogue about the books in French. Some books are written in French, you know what I'm saying? But 90% of them are written in English, and they talk in English. English is the language of commerce. And my homie from Jamaica, Ben, Ben, Ben Clifford was telling me that even though he said they use the English system there, so they don't use the old English, like roof would be ROOFE or whatever. He said, they use it like that, so they really don't talk about the oppression or whatever there in the school system. You know what I'm saying? They really look up to the English, but they know what happened. They had stories of what happened. So you got to understand, this is a global thing. This movie, it really touched bases to a certain generation and a certain demographic. This is their movie for this, and so it's so much hype on this movie. And then it's a black director. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not like Hollywood's just doing this thing and we're like, okay, cool with it. No, it's a black director. So I think that's very, very powerful. It is within itself. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got a lot of people that's gonna ride this wave, and you can't fault them. You can't fault them at all. When she said the "what are those" comment, that's something that black people stay on World Star or whatever. So I peeped it. Like I said, it was a real good movie. So bottom line is, if you're really looking forward to seeing it from the technological aspect, like I said, the high technology and this imaginary promised land, that would be your promised land. That would be like, oh shit, this is a place to ascend to. But we don't have that. We don't have that. That's non-existent. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. It's this imaginary place. But if you wanted a vision of how it would look, this would be it. And a lot of people are taking it literally. The sales are off the meter. So that's one of the big things, the real dope things. Now the most deep part about this is the guy who plays the father. I forgot his name. The one who died in the last Avengers movie. The one who plays the father. He basically he's real revolutionary, and that's something they don't talk about. He's real revolutionary. They don't talk about that. But yeah, I like the little lip thing when they did the lip thing, and I liked it. I really did. I did that. I don't know why it's pausing like that, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Outside of that, like I said, I had a good time watching the movie, and I'm gonna have a good time if they make a number 2. I'm really gonna enjoy it. I'm happy that they did it. I'm happy that somebody has something to hold on to. Make them feel better when they go to sleep at night. Wakanda. That's what's up. And I don't know. That's really all I got to say about it. So I don't know. I don't know what else I can touch bases on. I don't want to be too long-winded about something that ain't that serious. I mean, of course, you can make the correlation about the purple juice, the purple drink, nigga. That's a Dave Chappelle. But yeah, you can make the correlation between the purple drink and the purplest protection, the purplest royalty, and all that. You can do that all day long, but that ain't what I'm trying to do. As a metaphysician, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, cool. I see what it is. You know, as a metaphysician, as a black person, I was like, this is pretty fucking powerful. As a moviegoer, as somebody like, I'm like, all right, this is just another Avenger movie. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I said, it's layers to the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't super deep now, but it's pretty fucking deep. It's deep enough for those that ain't deep to get something out of it. And if that's what they want, and that tickles them, and that makes them feel wonderful, this ain't gonna change nothing now. Like, cause like my partner Dante was telling me earlier, he was like, bro, when you leave outside the movie, that's all it is. It's just a movie. And I was like, bro, be thankful for what it is. Like, just be grateful. Like, okay, cool, you got something out of it. All right, fine. You know what I'm saying? Don't be to the point where you like, oh well, man, nah, man, be happy you got a movie. It's a nice movie. Outside of the fact that yeah, it's imaginary. You know what I'm saying? It's probably referring to the Uganda instead of Rwanda or whatever. Yeah, okay. We all know that, bro. Relax. It ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people got that. They got really excited when he said that I'll feed you to my children line or whatever, and then he said my children are vegan. Oh, the vegan, soulful Africanist, pan Africanist people had a baby when he said that. And I can show you how in all black kingdoms we were vegan and we ate, meat and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. I ain't even worth arguing over. But the father, he's real revolutionary. Y'all listen to some of the things he has to say on record. And that'll blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? Um, had a beautiful cast. She's a beautiful sister. Real beautiful. And then he mentioned a couple things like in this scene right here. He mentioned a couple things about you got all these people protecting you, but you're not watching what you put in your body. I like that part. And then he's talking about how you stole the artifacts. I mean, that's with any country. You can look at Egypt. You can look at Turkey. I mean, the British when they colonized or whatever, they took a lot of artifacts. They never returned. So that's just how it is. Wakanda forever and all that shit. A lot of people walking around saying that bullshit. If that make you feel better and wearing shirts like that, I mean that's what's up. Don't let me knock you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was a real good movie, and I donated my money. I gave my part. You know what I'm saying? I gave my part. So I leave it where it's at. But that's peace. Go ahead and cut this shit off. How you do that, Bill? North Carolina, South Carolina food, we don't care. Stop it.